Hello and welcome to another video in natural sciences. Here we're just going to talk a little bit about nutrition. Have you ever heard the expression you are what you eat? Well, this is of course because the substances that we ingest are composed of the same atoms that make up our cells and liquids. It is a basic chemical fact that we can't be made of anything else besides what we eat. Some of the things we eat are less than healthy, of course, but our bodies have an amazing resilience to protect itself despite our personal choices in nutrition. And this diagram here shows a variety of different elements and substances that make up our body. There are a few aspects of nutrition, and there are basically 7 major parts, okay? These things here on the slide are called nutrients. Some of these items support our bodies, others are energy sources, and others are critical cofactors that we would die without having, okay? So let's talk about carbohydrates. So what do you think has more sugar, a can of Coca-Cola or a glass of apple juice? Well, you might be surprised. So what's up with carbohydrates? Carbs are broken down into glucose or blood sugar, and is the main energy source for our body's cells, tissues, and organs. The carbohydrates are present in table sugar, of course, high fructose corn syrup, grains, and fruits. Fruit sugar contains fructose. A high diet in sugars of any kind can result in weight gain, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. Of course, lots of bad things. My kid's doctor told us not to give our son too much juice. Juice at first glance seems like a healthy alternative to soda, but it can have the same amount of sugar as you can see here in this figure. Too much sugar is bad, and it's easy to drink way too many calories without even noticing. The average American eats 17 teaspoons of sugar a day, which adds up to 57 pounds a year. This amount of sugar is causing a bit of shock to our bodies, particularly if we are not mindful of our exercise, sleep, or other things that we need to eat. And yes, extra calories do get converted to fat, so it's just not fatty food that can make us fat. And if you like beers, those are full of carbohydrates as well, which can be converted to beer bellies just as well as sodas. All right, fats. So lipids get a bad rap. Lipids, our fats, and triglycerides are supercritical for our cellular function. We have already talked about how they form a greasy barrier called the lipid bilayer that make up cell walls. Fats naturally insulate us and keep us warm, and they can be converted to energy sources, okay? Fats take up more volume, as you can see in this rather gross figure. So if you're lean and muscular, it doesn't mean that you weigh less, it just means that you are more dense. Fats are found in nuts, oils, butter, and other fried foods, of course. Animals are a good source of fat, so fats can be found in all types of meats. This doesn't mean that a vegetarian that eats lots of fatty cheese is not going to gain some weight, though. Fiber. So you probably heard about fiber quite often in newspapers and other media if you've been inundated with various ads. There are 2 types of fiber, okay? Soluble and insoluble. Dietary fiber is the part of the food that's not digested. Only a small amount of fiber is processed by the stomach and intestines. The rest of the fiber passes through the gastrointestinal tract and makes up part of the stool. Soluble fiber, okay, can be found in foods such as oat bran, barley, nuts, seeds, beans, lentils, fruits like citrus or apples, strawberries, and many vegetables. Soluble fiber retains water and turns to gel during digestion. It also slows digestion and nutrient absorption from the stomach and intestine. For example, when I eat oatmeal in the morning, the meal keeps me feeling full throughout the morning because the soluble fiber gels up, expands, and takes a long time to digest. So I found that I'm less likely to grab a donut from a coworker because I just feel full for longer throughout the morning by eating some oatmeal. Insoluble fiber is found in foods, as you can see in this figure, from whole wheat, okay, whole grain products, vegetables, and wheat bran. Read your box of Cheerios the next time you're eating breakfast, and you can read all about the fiber contained in your serving. Insoluble fiber helps aid in weight management. One of the best sources of fiber comes from legumes, which are dried peas and beans. So that's the difference there, okay? Fiber and your colon. So one last bit about fiber here. Now, colon cancer is a serious situation that is typically associated with a Western diet and people who aren't very physically active. Western diets are low fiber and high fat, okay? Low fiber, high fat. That's usually what we eat here in the United States, for example. Research is mixed in this area, but it is generally agreed upon that rough, insoluble fiber, which helps scrub out the intestinal tract, may serve to clean the system, so to speak, okay? It's the body's Drano. Colonoscopies are regularly performed on older adults as a cancer screen to identify and remove polyps before they develop into colon cancer. So fiber is good for your colon. Minerals. Okay, so what are minerals? Minerals are chemical elements required by us to perform functions and stay alive. These elements include sodium, magnesium, calcium, potassium, phosphorus, iodine, zinc, and so on. I am not concerned at all if you memorize which are the major minerals and which are the minor minerals. These elements make up electrolytes, or the fluid within our cells. Some of these elements are found in hormones. Other elements are found within DNA or special protein catalysts called metalloproteins. Some elements, like calcium, are found in bones. Now, you may have heard that bananas are high in potassium, or that nuts are high in minerals, or that milk is a good source of calcium. Beans and lentils are a top source of 6 out of 8 essential minerals. These include copper, iron, potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, and zinc. So keep eating those healthy nuts. Some people are too busy to eat right and just rely on taking supplements. What are supplements, you ask? Well, they're little pills or vitamins you can get from the store. Let's talk about just one of them, zinc. So zinc is a nutrient found throughout your body. It helps your immune system and metabolism function. Zinc is also important to wound healing, your sense of taste and smell, and other super important functions like synthesizing DNA, for example. With a varied diet, your body usually gets enough zinc. Food sources of zinc, as you can see in this slide, include things like chicken and red meat. Cereals, by the way, normally do not contain zinc, so they are fortified. This means a chemical containing zinc is added to your cereal for your benefit. Take a look at your cereal box the next time you're eating breakfast to see what I mean about that. Since zinc accelerates wound healing, it's used in hospitals for burns and other skin injuries to promote healing. Zinc is important in the immune response, and this is why they sell zinc lozenges in the hopes that people who take these can recover a bit faster from a cold. I've circled it here with the purple oval on a CVS brand cold relief, okay? That contains zinc in there to help you with your cold. Proteins. Protein is a major component of muscle, as you may know. So a good source are meats such as chicken or beef, but proteins are necessary as catalysts or machinery to do many tasks in the body related to metabolism, immune response, and digestion. Antibodies, for example, are simply huge proteins. If you are a vegetarian, you can still get enough protein from milk, cheese, eggs, nuts, beans, and legumes. All of these are pictured here in this slide. Vitamins. The word vitamins comes from joining the two words vital and minerals. These vital minerals, or so-called vitamins, are a bit different from minerals. Minerals refer to a specific chemical element like sulfur or potassium, but vitamins are larger, more complicated organic molecules. Vitamins are usually designated with a letter like vitamin A or vitamin C, but sometimes folic acid. We don't just have a letter for that. This slide shows some of the sources of vitamins. You can see that green leafy vegetables, fruits, and vegetables are a good source of vitamins, as well as milk, eggs, fish, beef, or chicken. I do hope you are not watching this video while you're hungry because we have been talking a lot about food. I want to focus a little bit of my presentation on a vitamin. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. This means that if we consume some, it will be stored in fat cells for some time. Vitamin D is synthesized by standing out in the sun. All right, UV light from the sun reacts with chemicals in our skin to produce vitamin D quite naturally. So you need about 30 minutes of sunlight a day for this, for your regular daily dosage. And vitamin D is associated with mood. In the wintertime, when we wear long shirts or jackets and don't go out into the sun, many people are vitamin D deficient and become depressed. This is called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD for short. Many foods are rich in vitamin D. The next time you look at your milk jug, if you are a milk drinker, you may notice that the milk is fortified with vitamin D. We can do this in milk because vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin that stays soluble or dissolved in the milk fats found in milk. So you can see some of the food here. You've got salmon, lentils, cheese, eggs, okay? So those are good sources of vitamin D. Water is a nutritious substance. Drinking enough water every day is critically important for your health. Drinking water can prevent dehydration, a condition that can cause unclear thinking, result in mood change, cause your body to overheat, and lead to constipation and kidney stones. Not a pleasant thing. Water helps your body keep a normal temperature through sweating and blood circulation, which is mostly water. Water helps with digestion to, of course, make saliva, moisten food for easy swallowing, and to manufacture gastric juice and gastric juices. When you feel thirsty, your body is already dehydrated, so you better drink some water right away. I heard a story of soldiers in the Gulf War who had to urinate in front of other soldiers who would observe their color of urine. And if it looked even a little bit yellow, they were made to sit down and drink a quart of water right then and there, because when you're in a very hot desert wearing a 50-pound backpack full of all this gear and body armor and whatnot, you're sweating quite profusely, so you need to drink a lot of water to remain hydrated, functional, have a clear mind, and so on. Now, remember this chart where we discussed the components of your body? Well, water makes up the vast majority of your body. It says 62% here by weight. Now, oxygen to the left of that seems very high here, but only because the weight of water is mostly due to the oxygen atoms that make up the H2O molecules, which we learned earlier in the chemistry part of this course, where we learned about elements and how heavy they are and stuff like that. So, I hope this video was helpful to you to learn the various aspects of nutrition. Feel free to go back and review parts of this video as you need. Please like and subscribe my channel to help me out. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day, everybody.